Robin. This is the story of a common man from Kerala, India. Raised in a middle class family, he grew up surrounded by love, values, and the lessons his parents taught him about life, the importance of education, and the power of moral integrity. With their guidance and unwavering support, he chased his dreams beyond boundaries. Today, he enjoys the opportunities of life in the USA while staying rooted in the values he grew up with. His mission to inspire others, especially women, to achieve financial independence and lead empowered lives. His journey is a reminder that no matter where you start, with values and determination, anything is possible. To hear his full story and be inspired, watch our full episode. Let's encourage dreams and build a better future together. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Life is Beautiful with Usha Talks. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Robin. So he's gonna share his life journey with us. So please subscribe our channel and encourage like this. So hi Robin, welcome to my
Hi,
show.
Visha. Sorry, hi, Visha. It's a great thing to be with you, and I think it's a pleasure being here. And I think I feel that this session would be very useful to your audience. I look forward to see more and more people using your channel. So
Thank you so much for that. So Robin, can you please tell your deep introduction to our audience?
yeah, I think just to start with, myself, Robin, and I'm from Kerala, India, and I've been moved to Seattle almost like 8 years before, and before that I was in Coimbatore, Bangalore, Chennai, and then like I started my career as a nuclear research chemist.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then post that I did my graduation and post graduation in chemistry, and post that I started my career in a Switzerland based organization which is called Metron. And then like after more chemical companies which I work with, and then and came to Seattle here after joining Amazon. So currently I'm moved from Amazon. It's a company called ByteDance. I'm leading the compliance organization there.
That's so nice, Robin. In LinkedIn also, like I see so many. Normally, like we see, like IT, background and all. It's
That's
like
right.
interesting to know more about your journey.
Yes.
So, like, how did you come here? Like previously, you said like you're a chemist, right? Drug
Yeah,
chemist.
that's right.
So, can you please tell more details about your education and your journey?
Yeah, I think this is interesting, and I think like whenever I meet new people, they also ask like, "Are you a software developer?" Yeah, and then they get surprised when I'm say I'm into compliance and regulatory. So yeah, I am started my education as a chemistry student, and that is a very odd subject for people to choose. First of all, so
Very odd. Don't ask me, okay?
that's
If
right.
if my chemistry lecturer asked me a question, I was
That's
like a
right.
blank, like this.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like I chose chemistry as my graduation subject. I studied in a PSG college in Coimbatore, which I felt like I had very interesting teachers during that time,
Wow.
and they were like really passionate about the subject. So post that, I studied my post graduation in Madras Christian College, and there I had a professor who explained things in a very non-chemistry way. So
Non-chemistry.
yes, so
Nice.
he's a author of a lot of books. He wrote on chemistry. So he likes people to imagine things about chemistry, and that is the first time I heard about like you can learn in a different way of the subject which you are actually learning. So that actually opened up easy for me that when compared to other people when they say like some people max is stuff, for some people chemistry is stuff, and like chemistry become like a very interesting subject for me. And then so that was one of the thing which made me easy to complete chemistry, and then chose a core subject, which is regulatory and compliance. So
Wow.
regulatory and compliance is a pretty unknown area, I should say.
Yes, everyone only concentrate about like the very, entry things, not the deep things,
That's
obviously.
right. Yeah.
Regulatory compliance, even I'm working in healthcare now, I completely understand how important it is.
That's right.
So, can you please tell brief about
Yeah.
that one also?
Yes. So to start with regulatory and compliance, to put it in a simple way, the government want to, when you buy something from some shop, you believe that product will not harm you. So this, how do you think that you buy a medicine, it's gonna work for you,
Hmm.
right? And like multiple companies develop the same medicine, but how do you know that the medicine which you buy from a pharmacy, it's gonna cure you or help you, right? And that's where the regulatory compliance comes in. The any manufacturer or any retailer, the shops including the manufacturer, the government sets the regulation, and this regulatory and compliance is actually governs that. They go and they put auditing within the organization. So they say that when you launch a new product, they set guidelines. What are the things you need to launch this product, so that like we adhere to the government regulations. And when it sold, you also need to, for companies like Amazon, for companies like e-commerce is a big field, right?
Yes.
How is e-commerce deals with regulatory and compliance is like
Interesting.
another important thing, right? You buy a product from the e-commerce website, and then how do you know that this product is safe? And
Yes.
how do you know that this product is gonna help me, or it doesn't explode in your home, right? Say a power bank you buy, and how do you know that this power bank will not explode when I charge it,
Right.
right? And this is where regulatory and compliance comes in. We as a team, we put product safety compliance in place. We check all the test reports, where it is manufactured, what are the guidelines followed before they manufacture a product, and then we ensure these companies sell a good product to the customer. So this is a core of regulatory and compliance. We make sure that we adhere to the government regulations. We also make sure the customers are felt safe. So customer safety is one of the core idea behind regulatory and compliance. So that is one of the easy way to understand.
That's very brief, introduction and to know more about compliance and regulatory things like that. So we would like to know more about yourself. First, tell me like how's your childhood and your place.
Yeah. So I think most of my childhood was in a place called Coimbatore, and I think I had. I think kids nowadays cannot comprehend that. Like I played gully cricket. I played
Gully cricket still famous,
still famous,
Robin
right?
here.
Yeah. And then like I don't know what you call like the goatees, the this thing.
Goti billa in
Goti
Telugu.
billa, yeah, and with the stick and this thing, I don't know whether you say.
That is called Guti
Goti
Billa
billa,
and
okay.
Golilu.
Goli,
Something.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, more boys are playing in South India.
South,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, the bumperum. I don't know, is it tandem, the with the rope and this thing. I don't know what you call
Bongaram.
it. Bongaram, yeah, bongaram, yeah.
Good.
So I played almost all the street street games, which is like famous in India. So that was like my childhood was really exciting. I had like very interesting friends during that time. We played, we got a lot of injuries over that. So yeah, so
You know what? Like from our childhood, we are so connected to our villagers, our culture, our people,
that's right.
and the games what we are playing. We still remembering
That
those
is true.
memories.
Yeah.
That's like more beautiful to think about it and share with friends. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we know everything.
That's right.
We
You don't
see.
believe me. I told my mom not to throw away all the goti. The thing is still there, and including that bumperum, which we
Oh,
call it, it is
wow.
still there. And I showed, when I visited last time to India, I showed my son about the thread and this thing.
Wow.
So if you
should have-
ask one of the skill I have,
Okay.
I can rotate the tandem without touching the ground in hand. That is one of the skill I can.
You should have like shared those pictures to us. We definitely
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
share with our audience also.
Yeah, so
That's-
yeah, that was interesting childhood, and I enjoyed. I should say that I enjoyed playing all the games outside. I think nowadays kids are like more into games and other things indoor. But I think during that time, it was interesting to get like more of outside games. Yeah.
So it's very, very happy to listen the childhood memories from everyone. Thank you so much for sharing, Robin. And can you please like share that your journey, like how did you come to US?
Mhm.
Like in the initial days, how did you settle down yourself?
Yeah.
So can you please share that story to us?
Sure, yeah. So I was working with Amazon. I think I worked for like 10 years in Amazon. And when I was working there, they also want to make sure that US compliance is in place. I launched the program in India, and it was going well. We launched like Amazon Basics products there. And when we launch Amazon Basics, we want to make sure that the products are compliant, much more compliant, because it's their own product, right? It's Amazon branded. So after the launch of that, I one of my manager here, he's a close friend of mine. He said that like program is going well there. Why don't you come here, and then like we can come up with a new program.
Okay, Robin, just tell me, like, how did you feel here, like the people welcoming you when you here, especially what did you notice more things here?
Yeah, this is interesting, right? Like, so when I came here for multiple trips before I came to Seattle permanently, I was visiting here and then going back to India, and I was telling my wife that, hey, where I visited there, and I see that all the Americans were wishing in the morning when we see in the signal or any place, they will say hi, and then like we wish back.
Schools,
Yeah,
hospitals,
hospitals, any
like
place,
any
even the
place, yeah.
signals everywhere, right? Like so, and only one odd thing I faced, like if you meet an Indian, they will try to look away, right? They try to look away and they don't want to make the eye contact. And she was like, no, you met some wrong people, bros. That cannot happen. Like why? Because you should be happy to see another Indian person. Why they are looking away? And she don't believe me.
Yeah.
So when we moved here, she experienced it, and then she's like, why is that? Right. And I think I will also add to the another part of it. When one time my wife was standing in a signal waiting for the signal to turn green, and then like there was a nearby American lady who was like hold her hand suddenly, and then like she saw my wife does the nail painting and whatnot. She's like, wow, you did that? And then like it's a very beautiful color, and then how do you do that? And then she's like, this is great, and have a nice day, and then she left. This was just like a 15-second conversation. And then my wife was, the entire day she was happy about it, right? And I feel that that is something I feel that we can learn, and then like we can
Great
adapt.
offer,
Right.
thank God.
That's right.
I learned from the healthcare also, people like say greet. First, when you see people, greet them.
Yeah.
Then offer and thank you. When especially we are doing job.
That's right.
But if we know other person also, we can say hi, hello.
Yeah.
That makes us feel more comfortable the day gone, like, very beautifully also for everyone.
That's true.
Yes.
So I think that is one thing I feel that we are in another country, and we saw that there is a good, it is a good culture to have, like to greet people and say you are wearing a nice dress. Of course, this will be the same contrast if you go back in India, saw a nearby girl, you are wearing a nice dress, it may end up differently. Right?
That's right. That's right. Maybe they were so scared of, strangers, not to talk
True,
much,
true.
or a different culture we grow
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I
But
think it's
here
about the
completely is different.
Yeah. I think it's about the culture. Our parents always said that do not talk to strangers
Strangers.
who you don't know. Do not make an eye contact. And then like when we come here suddenly, we see a complete shift to that ideology which we had in our mind. I think it's very difficult for most of the people to adapt to it.
But I still don't understand. People are here more than 10 years also behave like still they are in India.
That's true. I think this is a amazing thing. I think everybody is going through the same thing. Like even maybe people in India, it's good to hear this perspective that even though we are living in abroad, we buy Indian food, we go to Indian shop, we
We
spend.
see Indian people, we hang out Indian friends, we do so many things.
Yeah,
But the problem is, I mean, some people like to spend time with each and everyone.
that's right.
This is not we are gonna hurt your feelings. It's all about we want to connect with more people, to spread positivity. The things is like the junk, whatever is
That's
around
right.
going on now, gadgets, electric gadgets, like people are not even talking each other.
That's right.
Every time is everyone is busy.
Yeah.
The only thing we want to, little things can also change so many things in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that is surely, I think it can help a lot of people. And I think when I connect with other people here, Americans, non Americans, I feel that we are being, should say that we are being a little bit mean and discriminatory, I should say, because some things we take it for granted, especially like we tell about height, we tell about people's size,
Color
this color,
discrimination.
like uh, including my mom, like why did you become so dark? Like right, and like I was like, it's okay, like this is how I was, you know me, you are the one who gave birth to me. Right? But if I stand in sun for too long or something like that, our parents are really worried with the skin color going dark, right? And the other thing is like, hey, you come, don't sit in the front seat, I will sit here because you're short or you're tall, right? So this is like, and after a long time, you're meeting a friend, like you put on weight, right? This is like, I think uh, we are unknowingly we are discriminating people,
Right,
right? And
you're
it
right.
becomes a very common thing in India, such that people. I spoke to one of my friend. He was saying that he, people say to him he was so lean. People tell to him that you are so thin that and you are so thin, you are not eating all these things. He had a trauma. Even still now he thinks that, oh, being lean is like, looks like you are coming from a family don't give you food, right? So it's like kids are traumatized, people are getting traumatized just by saying it. People are not realizing it, and it becomes a common habit that you tell about, like even in Indian police, we still see height, weight, all these things, which is not here. It is about the skill what you bring in, right? So here there is no, based on height the cops are not being selected, right? And I think these are the changes which we can, when we see it, we can accept that yes, we as a society, there was a mistake, now we can correct it.
Right.
But that is what I'm not seeing, right? Even after knowing it, or people still comment, people here saying that fat, lean, height, all these things, it becomes a common discussion topic without knowing it, without knowing other people are getting hurt, right?
Right.
So I think these are the things I think we can change for sure. There is,
Definitely. I mean, our kids are growing up here. They're like in school also. They grow up in
that's
a
right.
different cultures, different people. I mean, it's not like us. They have to mingle with everyone. They have to share with everyone. They have to talk and communicate each and everything to everyone.
That's right. Yeah. So I think that is surely an interesting perspective which I saw with people, our people here,
Right.
especially, right? And I think there are a lot of people, and I think one of the common thing I was seeing is like when I go to any new communities where to friends' places,
Mm-hmm.
I see that like there would be garbage bins,
Mm-hmm.
and you see that all the American families would have pulled the next day garbage bins. Indians don't do that.
Okay.
It is a very different perspective where I heard, and then like I have to I checked with one of my friends, and he's like, oh yeah, it happens. Like our people, even though they cross these garbage bins every day after the day of pickup, we don't pull it in. And again, it's not a big deal, but I spoke to one of the American lady in our community, and they feel that they are being insulted just because like it looks like odd for them. It is like keeping garbage bins are like for a day because they cannot do anywhere, and then like the next day they have to pick it up, and they feel that we are kind of like not following their culture and this thing, and that felt like as a part of that origin, I feel that okay, it's a message to everybody.
Right. I mean, if we see something, if some rules are happening continuously, like don't put trash on the roads, don't litter, don't do this, don't do that. That means they put some rules. We have to respect, and we have to continually doing the culture,
That's
whatever
right.
we are respecting each other. It's not okay. I don't have to do it like this. And of course, our Indians, any other people also, little tough to invest their time to learn everything.
Everything.
But of course, we can learn things, we can mingle with everyone.
True.
That's our beautiful part in our Indian culture.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is something I did kind of like a small session with my parents
Mm-hmm.
before I bring them here.
Mm-hmm.
So they came for a vacation to Seattle here, and before coming, I told them like, hey, people are gonna look at you in the eyes. They are gonna wish you. You need not to say anything, but you can smile, right?
Yes.
And I think this is something, because if you don't do it, it's kind of like a rude thing. And again, we cannot complain them because they never did it all their life.
So, okay, Robin, we want to listen that, inspired in your life. Like, what story inspired you? What's like you want to share with us today?
Yeah, I think let's start. I was telling about my childhood journey, right? Like about like what we played and whatnot. But there is also another side of the story which actually gave so much, I should say, yeah, courage to come through a lot of struggles. And one of the important thing I saw is what with my parents. My parents, they had a very hard life, and then like at some point they especially with the challenge of putting their son in a good school, right? And I think that was one thing they were saying, that okay, we don't have a money, we don't have a house. And then unfortunately they were like, okay, they were thrown out of their parents home, and then they have to struggle, and then they have to find a place for their own. So, and in that struggle they want to make sure that they give the best education for their son, which was like any parent's hope, right?
Right.
And the problem with that is like they did not had a job to start with. So okay, so they want to give the best education, but they don't know what how to do that and what it means. So they my mom was stitching blouse and whatnot, a tailor kind of thing. So she said to my dad, we'll start with this, I will do this day and night, I can do this. And then like, so my uncle who came with that this thing water stitching machine, and then my mom started stitching. And
That's
it was like, I thought I was like 5 that time, I remember. And then we had a house, we had no electricity. So it was a hard thing. And then like my dad goes for a night shift in a place where he was working. And the real struggle was they were able to manage everything up to my studies complete in the same school. They want to be in a matriculation English school, which is like in every parent in India nowadays, it become convent and other different means. But that time, I think years back, that this was like one of the greatest achievement they felt. And I feel that that is that I still cannot, if I put myself in their shoes, I feel that how did they even do that? Because if you compare.
Even every parents, if we see, neighborhood, in even our parents, our friends' parents, if we talk about, our parents, how much strength they showed
Yeah,
up to us. Like,
that's right.
they
Like,
never give up.
no,
They
they never give
always
up.
fight, and they give so
Yeah.
many motivational things for us for
That is
future.
right. I think
Yeah.
that is very one thing which actually kept me going, right? Like, because if I go back and put myself in their shoes, I would like, you struggle and then like you will find a way. But how do they managed? Because that education is what most of us here, when you see, like that's why they are pushing their kids like study well, right?
Right.
The reason behind it, they cannot do it or they did not do it because they cannot able to manage both together, right? But they made sure their kids get good education, right?
Right.
And I think that is, I think, one of the inspiring thing which happened, which actually took me from there to here, right? Because whenever I feel that I go through some struggle, I feel that if they can do it with such a low means, right? And now you have a roof, you have a food on your table. I think the problems are much smaller to things to start with.
A big clap for all the parents, whoever
That's true.
like
Yeah,
in our life, to
that's
see
right.
inspire more people, like this Robin story. Like, it's everyone's story. You
Yeah,
know what we see our parents, and so many parents, even grandparents also,
that's true.
they don't have anything like us whatever
That's
we
right.
have now, but still they never give up. Every day they used to fight,
That's
every
right.
day,
Yeah,
every from the childhood, even we see, we inspired a lot of stories.
that's right.
Yeah.
And I think one of the important thing I feel that is like my parents doesn't even know there is a subject called chemistry exists.
Mm.
So they are not educated. They are like completely not much know about like the subjects or the education level. But I think one thing which is a perseverance with my mom. Like she always like if he says that he want to studies it, we will make it happen. Like let him bother about his studies. We will bother about like how he is able to achieve that. So I think that courage from my mom is something which I took it as a big lesson, right? And then like I think most of us who came here, if you interview each one of them, you
Of
will
course.
hear a story something like that
Of
if
course,
they want to
yes.
say. And I think one thing which these people, I think the people who came through this is will not forget is the gratitude what they got from it,
Yes.
right? They don't want to reveal that because now it looks silly, but they feel always gratitude. My dad and mom struggle through this, and they are the one of the biggest reason. If you put a big pie chart, like they will be covering the most amount of the chart about the struggle they did, which actually made the people to come here,
Yes.
right? And again, I'm not saying people who are coming here, people may be watching from other places as well, even in India, wherever, whatever you achieved, the major part will be played by their parents. And if not parents, I know there are friends who have they don't have parents, but their relatives play a bigger role too, right? Because they act like parents. So it is not only your parents, the society,
Teachers,
your teachers, right?
parents.
True. So that is, I think, a biggest pattern, which I think they should take that as a what to say, a gratitude towards them.
Right.
And whenever they feel demotivated, I think they should go back and think like them. How do they achieve that, right? And I think that will give us a lot of strength.
It's very good to hear this. If we feel sometimes down, okay, we want to help ourselves, we have to stand ourselves, we think like that, okay, we have to think ourselves first. No, no, it's not like that. We have to think our parents, how
Yeah,
they did for us all
that's
these
right.
things.
Yeah, I think now when you have $10, I think you can get uh, you can do a lot, right? But you imagine that you have 10 cents,
Mm.
right? What you can achieve, and I think that comparison is what we are missing today
Mm.
because they had probably like say in India like 50 rupees for a month, and in that they were able to pay a rent, they were able to put a food on table, they were able to pay the school fees, and they were able to buy a cloth for the kids but not for them, right?
Yes.
Like they may wore what to say, sandals with a hole, but you will never see that on a kid, right? So they made sure that that 50,000 versus 50, how to utilize it on the kids, not on the other things. So I think the biggest investment for our parents are the kids, right? And I think nowadays a lot of people are missing that, and I think that is sad to see. But I think the majority of people, they actually feel very gratitude about it. They, if you see, whenever I talk, you would have known I'm a people person, so I speak a lot to other people, and
Mm.
then like I hear that they somehow struggle to go to India, right? And that's because the parents, the gratitude towards the parents, like how we show the love towards the parents, right? Whatever struggle we go through here, the visas, the other thing, the work, the schools, everything, they find something they earn for an entire year, they spend the money to see the parents, right? So I
Right.
think this is why, and then this may not drill down to the next generation. It is a different experience, but I think we can talk about like our schooling to till today. I
Mm.
think this is what we are carrying, right?
Right.
Things may change, but that is a different story.
Yes. Yeah, every place has the different stories when they grow up,
That's true.
especially But our Indian culture, parents always like sacrifice things to
That's
see
right.
the kids' education first priority for them.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
for sure. And thank you so much, Robin, for sharing this story as it's
That's
like
right.
connected to each and everyone today.
That's right.
And yeah, that's make you more inspired to,
Yeah.
make yourself comfortable in your life to think more
That's
things
right.
to do.
Yeah.
That's nice. Like how often you go to India and how
Yeah.
often you visit your parents.
Yeah, I think I try to go every year. And
Nice.
then like yeah, that's the one thing which I can do. And then I don't know like how much struggles they happen. And again, it's my personal thing, right? It can be differ for people. So totally understandable. There are friends who I know.
It's very good one, Robin, that you shared so many things. I think it's connected to everyone. It's not like we are discriminating people. It's not. It's just sharing. That we have to follow little things to show our respect to others. Okay. Thank you so much, Robin, for sharing all this information to us. So you said like you inspired your moms and dads life journey, that how much they put effort on what the Indian kids to study in the
That's
culture like that. But what did you see and in the society here, like
Mhm.
what in like last 10 years, right? You
Mhm.
have been
Yeah.
here. So what do you want to like see to change here especially?
Mhm.
And I just want to ask you first nice question for you. Then we will go to other
Yeah.
topic. Just tell me your hobbies. How did you spend? Like, how's your family life going on? You keep, fighting with your wife. Okay, I don't want to do this. You have to do this, like that. Every
Yeah.
day it's happening
Yeah.
to each and every home. How
Yeah.
you are managing, like, especially the work culture and the family life here?
Yeah, I think the family life. I have one son,
Mm-hmm.
and he's 12. So I think I'm very family oriented, and like uh, we dated very long time. So and then we got married. So
Nice.
my wife is like my one of my very close friend.
Nice.
And I think she knows each and every face changes easily. So I think as like every spouse, right? So
Small
small changes,
expression also,
right,
we
right.
will just find out, okay, what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between men, which we cannot find out.
So tell me, tell me your wife's name, Robin.
Yeah, she's her name is Sonia.
Hi, Sonia.
Yeah. So yeah, she is a very fun oriented person, and
Yes.
then like yeah, I love spending time with her for sure, and we kind of like make a lot of things together, and I think like we have been doing this for last 20 years. So I think
Wow,
we
that's
married.
nice.
Yeah, so I think we married like 15 years ago. So
That's
I think
beautiful.
yeah. So we have been together. Very nice. So it's a very interesting time to spend time with her, and I will get really bored without her being at home. So
Wow,
it is
that's
very interesting. So because we always like make fun of a lot of things. So I
nice.
think it's very interesting. Like we keep talking about a lot of fun stuff, and then like
Tell
we
me
have
a good, I mean, a joke or, to anything you want to share. Like, okay, this,
yeah.
we just want to just solve the problem. Like, if something happened, fighting or something with
Mhm.
wife and husband between,
Yeah.
what did you give a tip? Like, you have been like
Okay.
20 years of experience. We want to
Yeah.
learn one.
I think yeah, the one thing I feel that is like one thing we made it very clear is like whatever fight happens that ends in the same day.
Same day.
Same day. So it has to end in the same day. So there is no carryovers to that. So by the end of the day, we either talk and solve or we didn't talk and solve. Even if we sleep, the next day is a new fresh
New
day.
fresh.
So it's completely gone. There is no nothing to carry over to the next day. I think that is very helpful. So I think because we know that it is something if you keep it as a reserve savings, that is not a good savings. So
Okay.
so I think that is the one thing I.
So anything happened, just forget about that day. Just talk and settle down and sleep. Start a fresh day.
Fresh day. Yeah.
That's nice.
And I think that's something we went through a lot. So I think that's something we can easily connect because those things would be very silly when you look after like maybe 10 years later.
Right.
So I think.
But we have to, okay, remember, okay, to share after 10 years, okay, but we settle down.
Settle
We
down.
just,
That's
okay,
true.
nice to move. Nice to move on sometimes. And thank you, Robin. And tell me, what did you see changes here,
Mm-hmm.
and especially women
Mm-hmm.
to move to this country with
That's right.
jobs, without jobs,
Yeah.
and what did you see the difference here, and what do you want to change to learn people?
Yeah, I think one of the things after coming here, it took some time for me to understand. When I was in India, I feel that okay, everyone abroad are like having money under their bed because they don't have place. Everywhere they store the money, so they have so much money and then they're storing everywhere. But after coming here, I realized that like you are in India, you are here. Everyone is going through some or the other things, right? Either health issues or other issues or money issues. It is everything for everyone. There is some struggle going on. So I think being kind is the best thing. I felt that after coming here, I realized it because you don't know a person behaving very rude in the office. Later, we realized that that person is going through some kind of an emotional course. So uh, we can be very kind, right? The other thing which I saw after coming here a lot is like lot of Indian women after coming here are very ambitious. When they come here, they're like, I know personally, I know like people who are like doctors, people who are like scientists, people who are like having their dental doctors who are coming here, they cannot work.
Yes.
And this is a big shock to a lot of people because they cannot simply come and do this, whatever they were doing in India, come and do it here. And another big blocker is that visa, right? And I think this is kind of like, even though you have skill, even though you have been a VP or a director in
Mm.
India, after coming here, the men or women, they are, there is something called dependent visa, and then
Mhm.
you need to go through some kind of an EAD
Yes.
process, but just to get a job. Without that you cannot get this job. So I think this is one of the biggest burden or struggle for mostly women's, right?
Yes.
There are also other side of it which is actually comes in, but mostly women go through this, and I think that's kind of like put them in a big mental struggle, that even after achieved so much things, like we spoke about like childhood, we spoke about like how parents giving the education, and they reach here finally, but they are struck with that
And it's not easy also. We already grew up, we already studied, we already did the job, and
yeah,
after marriage we moved without a blank.
that's right.
Nothing, only housewife. We studied a lot, we want to do something, we have so many ambitions to fulfill in our
That's
life.
right.
But family investing time is also very important, but the career wise it's very hard to come back.
That's true, and I think this is I think now a lot of people are trying to understand that as well, because there are two sides of it. Once the kids were so young, everybody needs to have the support. Right here, I think this is something only can be connected by people here. Maybe people
Yes.
watching from India cannot connect it.
Yes.
Like the emotional support we are getting from India is something you cannot get. For example, if a baby is crying, there will be an aunt who comes and picks up the baby, or the nearby completely neighbor, right? Who just comes and picks the baby without even talking to you, and then they will just make sure that the
Yeah.
baby is calm and then do
Yes,
it,
yes.
which is something you cannot expect here. They won't touch your baby unless you say that you can take my baby.
Right.
There is something called consent. So I think this is
Scared to concern to show to the babies especially.
That's right. Here, you cannot simply go and take a baby in the park. You cannot simply say that, okay, hey, this baby has, you have to take care of your baby. You cannot give free advice. You may get into trouble for,
Of course.
you may get into trouble for that.
Yes.
And I think in India we get a lot. But I think this is an interesting thing where you will not get a support if you have like two babies in a row, and then like you want to take care, you have to deal with it.
Right.
There is nobody is gonna come help for it. I know, like, then why did you choose it? Why did you go here? And I think, yeah, so that is another question which
That
comes
is
to
also
everyone.
a job.
That's
It's not only the job, whatever we are doing it here. That is also
right.
like part of every jobs,
That's right,
driving jobs,
And
cleaning
that's
jobs,
true.
everything. Yeah.
And I think this is an important thing which I think people, I should say that everybody in the world got a pause, and world got a beautiful time other than the struggling part is the COVID time. During COVID, I know there is lot of people struggled, but there is lot of things. I think I should say that this is like a one time life event happened,
Mm.
people started spending time with their family.
Right.
And then, like, this is like a sweet you never tasted, and then when you get the taste of it, people cannot come out of it.
Right.
Right? So you started, after so much time, after so much struggles, during COVID period, people spend time with their family.
Right.
Right? And
That,
then,
that
like,
is the worst
yeah,
situation. Only see the beautiful things happening in the world.
that's right.
Family time.
That is right. So, and I think after that, a lot of things have got changed, right? And I think let's come back to that
Yes.
point you were saying about like women being at home, right?
Yes.
Because of a lot of other issues, including visa. And I think one of the important thing is like once the kids grew up, once the kids can take care of themselves, which is like age of like maybe say 7 or 8, then until that the kids will be like always like play with me, right? And then later like I will try to play on my own, right? So then the wives at home or the ladies at home, they feel that okay,
Sorry.
this is something I feel that what do I do now, right? I was taking care of my kids, and like now the kids have grown up, I need to focus on my career. Right now they prepare the resume, they have everything ready, then comes the blocker of visa, right? And I think even after say that the visa everything is settled, now they are applying for a job, then there is like a big gap. The good thing about here is like they don't ask why we were sitting at home, right? And I think in India, even my wife had a struggle, like when you have a big break after a baby or something, oh, what were you doing, right? And I'm really surprised, like how does it matter, right? Because if you can show the skill, and if you can deliver the job, if you feel that this candidate can deliver the job, why do you worry about like what was happened in the past, right? So but I think this is again depending on the culture. Here they don't ask like why you had a big break or something, but you can explain and say that this is what I was doing. You can always learn, and I think people are currently getting into the jobs, so that is a good part, right? Once uh, the women get into jobs, they can support the family, right? That other than this, right? Whatever like people were earning, or whatever people in India thinking we are earning, it's not every time is enough to run, right? Sometimes you need a support. Sometimes like we need every year, if somebody is traveling to India, it's a very expensive trip.
Very expensive.
Right?
If we travel in India, even 2 years, we have to clear the debts for 2 years.
That's right. So that means you have to work, right? So this actually, as a family, I think it's very important that if you get a support, it's great, right? And I think this is how I think women are currently supporting, and they are putting their best, they are putting their max to support their family. And I think this support is actually making that family together. It's helping them to jump through the hoops of the daily issues where they face through. But that is a good thing, right? That is a good side of it, which is
Right.
like perfect.
Right.
But the other side of it, when I see that sometimes women now they went to job, they have a job, they come back.
Yes.
I have a friend who actually recently passed away at the age of 40.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, and their wife is here, and she was like, she had no clue what was happening, right? She was not prepared for it. I think nobody was. So, when situation like that happens, from the women's side, I'm not looking at the emotional side of it, more practical side of it. If you come, you have a house, you have a mortgage. I think they don't know what is the current interest rate the mortgage was financed. Is it can I refinance anytime when the mortgage rate goes up, down? How do I do it? Where do I reach out? How much investment my husband had in the stocks? How do I make sure it is useful to me?
These questions is connected to the so many families, Robin. Thank you for sharing, because even for me also there is, last 2 years when I started working without, like my husband take care of everything, like I don't know anything, I'm taking care of the family, like me, and
Yeah.
so many women like me also there, it helps for them also.
Yes.
Please continue.
Yeah, I think this is one thing it actually opened my eyes, and I think this is kind of like thing which I was talking to my wife as well. Like, okay, do you know like how much percentage we have financed the home? And she's like, I have no clue. Do you know like how much we are paying monthly for it? And again, some things your friends can surely help, right? Okay, make sure that you have like emergency fund, you can work for it, right? All these things. But I think more than that, they need to understand what is going on in the family. This is your family, right?
Yes.
How you take care of your kids, their schedules, their tuitions. You need to take care of like what's happening on the financial side as well, right?
Right.
And I think there are men who may not be comfortable sharing that, right? But
They have to, no other option, because either wife or husband, you only have to take care of your
that's right.
family.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is like with the current state, we don't know what's going to happen next, right? And I think when I was also saying there is no big support we are going to get because our friends also got families, they also have jobs, they can only support you for some time to come and help you.
Yes.
But post that, it's only you,
Yes.
right? And I think people has to take it very seriously this how women can educate themselves financially. And now youtube, you have a lot of other things which they can actually go through. And I think the first place to go is like they can go to their husband and tell them, hey, where do you pay your mortgage, how much. For example, imagine the you lose your spouse and then you have a job, but you are making only the amount for the mortgage. How do I make my mortgage lower so that I can pay that and also take care of the family? Right? So how do you, these are very personal things. How much you make per month, how much is being I get it in my paycheck, which is how much I need to pay as a mortgage. So sometimes you don't want to discuss this with your even some of your close friends. How do I manage this?
Why I have these questions
Yeah.
these days? I recently met a financial advisors to
Mhm.
learn about. Even I was so shocked. Even we don't know what we are doing, and the emergency what we have to do also. It's like if they're asking the questions to us,
Yeah,
it's like everything blank for me.
that's right.
Then I realized I have to learn so many things. It's not only the one what I'm supposed to cook for the lunch or
Yeah.
dinner, where we are going for the weekend, or it's not like that. Life is not every time the same way what we are thinking. It's unpredictable and we have to prepare for it.
That's right. And I think one thing which doesn't stop is your bills.
Right. That's
Even,
completely right.
yeah, even whatever happens in your life, the one thing never stops is your internet bills, your electric bills, your water bills. That never stops. It's
Right.
gonna come at your door. So I think we have to face the fact, and I think men, husband and wife, has to prepare each other, right? And I think that's one thing I would also say that husbands can know like what is the my child's schedule, right, every day, what classes happens every day, right? And I think what are other classes they should be knowing about it. And I think this is like the same thing, you run a family, so you have to tell in and out of it so that they can be prepared and for the worst times. And I think this is something is missing here as well as in India, right? And I think I'm not segregating some people. Some people are really into that.
Some people, I mean, most of them educated and
Yeah.
they know everything, but
Yeah.
the little things they're missing. I
That's right.
feel like even they're educated or they're doing a big job roles also,
Yeah.
they're missing something. So how
Something.
they have to come out from that, how they
Yeah.
have to learn each and everything,
Yeah, not each and everything. I would say. I think the first thing is
the
like,
basic.
yeah, the basic thing is like, first thing is like you have to come out of the comfort zone.
Right.
And then I have one of my very close friend who is very say that very logical.
Mhm.
So he says that, do you want a logical answer or an emotional answer? Right. So when somebody asks you like, okay, like that means like, do I want to convince you or
Mhm.
do I want to tell the fact, right? Because
That he's a good friend. Trust me. If someone
so,
says they don't have to every time praise you, oh you're doing great, not like
yeah.
that. They have to show the
Yeah,
fact
the
exactly.
fact. So I think he tells me like, yeah, sometimes you have to just say the logical thing, right? The first thing is to accept that there is a possibility of a disaster which can happen to anyone at any time, right? And I think women and men
Mhm.
should be prepared. What happens if something happens to my other half? How do I take care of kids? how do I take care of my parents, how do I take care of, make sure that the, as I said, the bills, the life has to move on, right? So I think the first thing for it is, even my, when I speak to my wife, she don't want to talk these topics, right? She
No, not only your wife, Robin. Trust me, even
yeah,
me also.
yeah,
When even not only I'm talking about myself. I don't know whoever like watching this show, like a woman or men. I don't know what's going on in your families, but this is our personal experience. Maybe it will connect it to you or not, but just share. It's very important to each and everyone. If my husband tried to educated me like from last 2 years back, I said I am taking this seriously
yeah,
to learn everything. But last 2 years back, when he tried to say something, oh, that's not my part. I'm tired. I want to do something else.
yeah,
I'm not listening when he's trying to say something. Okay, you have to, Usha, you have to learn this,
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think it's the blocker we kept in front of it, because it's kind of like a taboo subject, right? What happens if something happens to me? Is like the things which most spouses don't want to hear about. Like nothing will happen to you. Don't talk about it now, right?
Wake up, friends.
So
Wake
this,
up, please,
yeah.
please.
So I think that's the one thing which is actually stopping. It's not about like that is one thing. The other thing is like, anyway you are taking care of it, what is the reason now I need to come and like learn about it, right? And I think the two-step process is like, one, accept the fact there is a possibility, it's just a probability, right? It is not something it's gonna happen, but it is a probability. So we should take that as a probability into a logical explanation, not an emotional explanation.
Right.
Take it as a logical thing and say that what will I do next. The thing which people here don't understand is that even if you, a spouse passed away, and if you want to take the body to India, it's not easy. It is a very very tedious process. You need to get a signatory. Even if you cremate here, you cannot even take the ashes easily. So it is such a tedious process
Very
involved.
scared to listen. Even I heard so many in the financial advisors when they're talking about if the people coming for the vacation also, if something happened to the family,
Yeah,
it's not easy to go
yeah,
back to their family
that's
to
right.
finish the all the
Rituals. So I think there is lot of, you don't want to get into that level, right? It may sometimes emotionally it is not a great thing to for now, but I think these things are easy, right? Knowing about what is the mortgage you pay, which is the mortgage company you are currently working with, what is the interest rates you are currently fixed with, these are easy than knowing like what is the cremation, where do I grow, right? So those things are tough, but I think there will be people somewhere, someone can come and help you that time. But financial part is something we can surely get into, knowing, educate ourselves, and your, you need not to go to big different source. Your husband or wife can be a better person to know all these things.
yes.
So you can just ask them and then get this information.
It's time to understand more each other, learn things to understand to life is not easy for everyone to this show, especially when I'm trying to say to the people, common people are real heroes because we don't know how much struggles they are going through, right? Each and every one journey is very unique for me.
That's true.
If they were in a big positions or the small jobs, it doesn't matter. Okay, each and every story is unique,
Unique.
and we have to learn so many things also to
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, so I think I was saying about the women part, right? Like, so that is very important. One
Yes.
thing is like financial, coming out of the comfort zone
Comfort zone.
and accepting the logical fact that if something goes wrong, how do I prepare myself?
Right.
Because the day 3, day 5 is something you should be prepared for,
Right.
right? The day 5 without a spouse, how it may look like, right? What do I do now, right? Do you know to drive a car? Do you know to drive in a highway? Do you know to drive to the places which you need to put in a map and then suddenly go? These things are very easy for men because they have been prepared to do it. But I think the people who come here as to the new country, they need to get through this driving test, they need to get through the license, and I think these things they did not even be ready. They were like, okay, I'm getting into a car, I'm going to the shopping mall. Hey, I need to go to the shopping mall, like a premium outlet, long distance, and just go. And then, like, you've been dropped there. But I think when suddenly something happens, driving on a highway becomes a challenge,
Yes,
right?
it's not
So
easy.
this is something I want everybody to be prepared for. When you have support, open yourselves, and then, like, accept the fact, take some bold risk, and then, like, have this thing prepared. So when day 5 comes, after the big thing which happened, you will be prepared to handle those things. Because that things become a blocker for you for a work. If you cannot drive on a highway, if you cannot drive a car, if you do not have a license, I think these are the things, some things, a very, very small things become a big issue for your work, for your career, and for the family support, right? So I think these are something, we have to take it serious. Just like, how do you prepare, get your passport and come here? These are some of the basic things which you keep it as a checklist. And then, like, I will drive, start driving, get a license, and I will search for a job. I will i will search for myself, and then I will keep myself up to date in the career path, right? All these things is kind of like the thing which is taken for granted, right? But I think they should be serious about it. When something happens like this, they will be prepared for the worst day, right? And I think it gives a lot of, if nothing happens, you learn something. There is nothing wrong with it, right? So I think that is one of the big thing which
Touch wood, everyone like want to be safe, but if anything happen, just to learn things is also like a good.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. The another topic which I not observed, but I think I'm following some of the groups where I see a lot is
Mm-hmm.
like the women abuse,
Oh,
right? So
that's a very like a big topic. Like if something has happened at home in India, like we just go to our like mom's place
parents,
or uncle's place,
that's right.
brother's place, like that.
Yeah, so this is coming back to the support we were talking about.
Mm.
In abroad, when you have a disagreement, you are saying that what happens, there is a disagreement. Like in my life, it is a very simple thing, and I think I've been observing this.
Mm.
Some things which is very easy for some families,
Mm.
it is not easy for other families.
Right.
Like making a simple decision where to eat may complicate a lot of things for some families, right? And then if there is a disagreement, or if there is a physical or a verbal abuse, right?
Mm.
The uh, girl calls their mom, and says that I want to come, and then the parents are like, what are you talking about? You are in, like, in America,
Mm.
and you are, this is not the opportunity gets for everybody, and you are there and you want to come back, like,
Adjust.
yeah.
Adjust.
And make sure that you adjust with that situation and then be there. And I think this is in the lot of online platforms, we see that people are crying for help, saying that this has been happening, but we have no other choice but to continue the life what they're having, right?
Mm.
And again, that is tied to a lot of things, because most of the women are tied to the dependent visa.
Yes.
So what happens when they appeal for a divorce, or even if they reach out to the cops, the husband may get into trouble, which will impact the visa of the wife. And this is the reason they want to make sure that it doesn't go to the cops. They just adjust, right? And I think this is like a pattern which I'm seeing from the online platforms, where I see more and more people are struggling, but they don't know where to reach out. Even their closest friends, they don't know that they are going through this,
Right.
because they don't want to discuss.
It's a very sensitive topic though. Even in India, wherever the wife and husband matters, always like they want to solve in a room. They don't want to come out. If something is bothered, it's not comfortable living with this partner. If they decided to come out and the helping hand, they need it badly.
That's right. Yeah.
So
So I think there is no solution I can think of immediately. The one thing is like speaking out, and I think it's okay to, uh, the the biggest part is survival, right? And I think uh, there are some things we can speak to the spouse and then, like, clear it out, but it may not happen to everyone, right? But in that case, I think this is connecting to the other thing. If you are having your own job, if you have built a career, this will be a solution, right? And that is, sometimes people can live with that. Sometimes if you feel that they don't cannot live with that, they are financially independent. And I think that actually speaks a lot. If you cannot come to an agreement, I will go to another apartment, I can take care of myself, will give you a lot of confidence, right? And I think this all these things which we spoke about, like having your own driving license, having ability to drive on a highway, having a career, will prepare not only for the spouses, the issues, it will help you in a lot of other things as well, right? So I think we should be prepared for some things which are happening unexpectedly. I think having financial freedom, or having financially independent, will help you to stand strong.
Right. Well said, Robin. Very very important things that you shared today. Very sensitive topics also we talked about it,
Yeah.
and I really this journey inspired so many people, like whoever here in the US or somewhere in this world. And India also, it's not like the one when we grow up like that. The same US, the how it things going on here in India also the same way is going on there.
Yeah, it's different. And I think, yeah, so you are saying about like how the generational change we are seeing.
Generation, yes. Now it's we are in a Gen Alpha kids, right?
Yeah.
Gen Z maybe a little bit,
Yeah.
but like how did you see the education
change.
system and the generation
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I think to start with, some of the words which my son speaks, we cannot suddenly understand.
you know, I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't know. Okay, my mom and my dad did this to us, and this culture is completely different. Our kids learn so many languages, so many cultures also here.
Yeah.
How we have to handle even. I want to talk about it with a lot of parents, especially.
I think I would say that parenting is always kind of like funny. Every time it changes, like you don't have a book. Interestingly, Americans have a book and then they learn a lot.
Really?
But I don't know, like I see a lot of people who are getting a book how to parent, right? And I think I think for Indians it is like we are in a much better state, should say, because our we know how our parents parented us, right? So we don't need to read a book, but we will take that as a face value. That is a baseline, right? How did my parents parented me? I will try to do that, but also I will see that, okay, what are the things which is currently happening. So one thing to do that is like know have a close relationship with our kids, and I think you have to keep yourself up to date. Giving a mobile phone at an early age, they can actually do cryptic
This
messages.
is a big problem actually. Without gadgets, how they have to survive.
Yeah.
One day I want to see like what the family shows going on now, like
Sure.
reality shows.
Yeah.
Without gadgets, just everyone have to stay a month or something. I
Yeah.
just want to see.
Yeah, I think this is called generational gap, right? This is so because when you speak to your parents, when we were in college, they did not understand what we were doing. They did not understand what we were speaking, and then like now we are going through the same thing, right? And I think it is. I would say it is kind of like we should not be taking away gadgets. We should be educating them how they should be dealing with that, right? Because it is very, very, for example, difficult for our generation to stay away from gadgets. It is like our time computer were introduced, right? And I think nowadays their projects, their school assignments, everything is like they have their laptop in the class.
It's not bad, but I just want to. There is a limit.
That's right.
Yeah, limit.
I think this is something we can bring. Like there are families who introduce screen time. There are families who introduce like we will have our set of rules and then we follow it. And if you break it, then you have punishments like don't use.
Do you hear any American parenting story?
Yeah.
Even I heard like one of my colleagues sharing their story about their childhood memories and kids like that.
Mhm.
They have to share their chores.
Mhm.
Everyone works like mom and dad, kids. one kid supposed to clean the dishes, one kid supposed to take out the dishes to put them back, and 1 week laundry.
Yeah.
They do have a schedule for
Schedules,
it.
yeah. I think it is a very important thing, and I think an Indian parents, it's a very, very odd subject for us. Like making kids to work,
Work.
is a very, very odd subject. Like they are supposed to study, they are supposed to like play, and I think that's it. Like
I don't know about everyone, but I want my kid to start work when they want to ready.
That's right.
Definitely, because they only learn only that time.
Basic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very important to have it within the kids. And I think just coming to the back to this part is like the we cannot control the kids handling the gadgets, but I think we can be educated ourselves. Like for example, identifying what are the websites they are going to,
Right.
what are the website, what are they searching for, right? And I think what is the message they are sending to their friends,
Right.
and it's not only monitoring, like it is kind of, there is some privacy mode to that, but I think it is also educating, right?
Right.
I tell to my son, you can search in Google something you don't know, but make sure that you don't, if you see something which you don't like to see, tell us immediately, right? And
Right.
because there are phishing sites, there are game chat boxes where people who actually pray for kids, like they try to reach out to kids like other kids, but they were adults, right? So I think it is a very, very important topic. We feel that okay, playing a normal kids game
Right.
in the mobile, they are not disturbing us, but there is a chat box in the game window where it is like other people will come and message. They think that these are kids, and there are kids who don't tell about it,
Right.
and they finally found out that it was an adult who was talking to the kids.
Got
So
it.
I think these are the things we should be telling to our kids, telling that hey, why what are the things you should be watchful for, right? So I think bringing the trust in kids, saying that hey, this is not something I want you to be to, they don't like to listen to that part, but you can say that this is not something, you don't want to get into trouble for this, right?
Right.
And then like make sure that they are aware of like what are drugs, right? And like what there are bad, there are good drugs. My son asked like, what about bottle drugs?
Got it.
Right. So why, what are drugs, right? And I think it's very important for parents in here to tell their kids what is a drug, define them, right?
Define them. Just answer their questions. One day, even my kid is asking my 7-year-old, like, what is sex? To be frank, like male and female, we have to tell them exactly like what the gender, related questions and things like that. There are so many questions, like kids related questions. We do have so many topics for that. The parenting,
Yeah.
maybe we have to learn so many things gone through with it.
That's right.
Yes.
So I think one thing related to your question on gadgets is that like the parents has to be educated.
Right.
We should not be like uh, leave it to the kids, just hand it over kids the iPad or the laptop, but we also need to make sure, again, there is a big connection, like, and the wife say it is a father's work to take care of
No.
gadgets, no, right? Like, so that is
No.
also, that is one thing, right? Like you have to learn everything so that like it happens that we know what kids are searching, we know
Right.
what is their favorite game,
Right.
how long they are playing, and then like bring control over that, and then like tell them what is the impact it will create, what happens if they get into trouble, right?
Right.
What are the consequences? And I think explaining that, we as an Indian parent, we feel that it is too much for the kids, but I think we can make it a little bit in a simple form and tell them that there are educational videos, how scary the social media is, how scary the gadgets are, right? For at the kids level, right?
Right.
So I think we should be accepting the fact we are going into another generation, and like we are like our, maybe like our parents now, like I don't understand what my kids are like doing today.
It's not that we don't have to talk about it. We want to share, like the parents, whoever, like, how to deal with the situations. if something is not in our hands, but something is going wrong, we have to talk about it, communicate. That's give you a mental health.
True.
And for kids also, it's good to understand things. Okay,
That's true.
my parents and my friends' parents also like talking about it. Too good for us to teach something.
That is right.
Yeah.
And I think every time we see that the kids in the restaurant or kids in the park who are using the gadgets, right? So I think those are the things which I think again it depends on the parenting. So those are the things we just need to take care of and then like educate our kids and then like educate ourselves
Right.
in the current generation.
Right. You are very well said, Robin. Thank you so much for all this information. The one you were talking about, it's like very helpful for each and everyone. And so tell me, Robin, like what gives you more happiest thing in your life?
I think happiest thing is like when I been with my family. That is like the most time, and then like we like to explore some places, and then like when I take them and
Do you watch movies?
Oh
Who's
yeah.
your favorite? Even we watch so many Malayalam movies like these days. We like to watch Tamil, Malayalam. I mean, we used to watch Tamil movies,
Yeah.
but Malayalam also, like last these years from
Yeah.
COVID, I think,
I think a lot of people.
lot of
should.
movies we watched.
Yeah.
Tell me who's your favorite hero?
I think Bhagat Fasil is one of my favorite hero. He has actually
Nazria.
Nazriya's
Nazriya's husband, yeah.
I think yeah. We
Yeah,
watch.
Pushpa, villain, we
Yeah, yeah,
already
yeah.
know him.
Yeah.
Lot of movies.
That
Yes.
is true. Yeah, I think I think the fun there is I like him because like he got kicked out of Mollywood for not acting well.
Oh
I don't know. A
no!
lot of people don't know, but yeah, that's the reason.
No, he is a great artist.
Yeah,
That he already proved, and it's okay. Any industry is our industry now because we want to encourage good things. We want to learn from each and everyone. Yeah.
So I think yeah, that's one part is like again like I don't watch a lot of movies, but I think I'm very selective. So and good thing is my wife is also selective, so we don't watch all the movies. But I think
Nice.
yeah, we spend some good time when there is a good movies are there. So yeah.
Good to know. So, any hobbies? Only just like singing or dance or
No,
anything?
my wife is a good dancer, so
Wow.
she likes to dance, and then like they have in the lot of events which are happening,
Nice.
she likes a lot of dance, and like yeah, whenever she gets time, she also dances at home. So yeah,
Nice.
so that's a good thing for. I play badminton whenever I get time, so we have a good club in the community, so we go for badminton. So that is one of the hobbies I have.
Thank you so much, Robin. And we really liked, and it's very information for each and everyone, whoever watching this show. If you wanna like, okay, say some good things to people to understand a message,
Yeah.
anything from your life or from your neighborhood or friends
Yeah.
in your life. If anything you want to share,
Mhm.
just please share to our audience.
Sure. I think the one thing I felt will be good takeaway for today is that having the gratitude, I think, is the biggest strength.
Yes.
Like, for example, there are everybody who went through a lot of things and then they feel that I am very gratitude of having a house. I am very gratitude of having today's day, right?
Right.
So having that gratitude will feel that lot of thing to say enough. This is enough for me, right? And I think that is something will keep you sane, and then like the day you will feel blessed. And I think having that gratitude every time, feeling that, hey, look at that, I have a beautiful family, and I have a
That we
beautiful.
have a quotation in Telugu, తృప్తిని మించిన ఐశ్వర్యం లేదు. That like you understand,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, understand.
What we exactly like
That's right.
satisfaction is more important.
Yeah.
That is like wealth in our
Yes,
life.
yeah. So I think gratitude will bring you a lot of satisfaction, and I think like each day will be you will feel that is like something new, and then we can live better, right, and kind to everybody. So I think that's the biggest. I think it could be a good takeaway from this.
That's very nice and lovely message for each and everyone. So before we closing, like how did you feel about this talk show, and just how do you?
Mhm. I think this is very. I was a little bit worried when you said that interview, but this is like
He
a very
postponed 2 or 3 weeks too. What questions I'm going to ask.
yeah,
Like,
some of this, yeah, I think I feel like some of the questions like woman abuse, I'm not a woman, so and I do not
No,
know
no,
anything, but
because
these topics are
a man thinks like that to you. Like, if you are talking about the woman, you are a very kind-hearted person. That's why when I'm trying to reach people about this my talk show, common people life stories, then I really okay, Robin, you are the right person. I want to talk about it.
yeah, so that's one thing, like it was like this interview doesn't feel like it is like a very tough for me. It was very easy to open up, so I think thank you for giving the opportunity. I am
Thank you.
so happy and blessed. I feel gratitude that I was able to get time with you, so thank you for having me. Thank you for
Thank you, Robin. I have one more friend today, and we were just like traveling in a Scoop app for our work sometimes in a month,
Yeah.
once or twice. But we have that connection to spread good things to people when we are talking about it. Also, that makes more important for each and everyone. So, thank you for watching us today. Our show, Usha Talks Life is Beautiful with Robin today. And I hope you enjoyed our show. We will definitely meet with one more good episode to please give your feedback to each and everyone and share this video and please like and subscribe to our channel. And thank you so much for your time, Robin.
Thank
Here,
you,
we
Usha.
loved your journey to hear about more things like this. And I wish you all the best. And I wish I want to meet your family
Oh yeah, sure,
personally.
sure thing.
Thank you,
Anytime.
everyone.
Thank you.